welcome back to Hook On with Joy. And today we are going to be talking about married life. So if you are married, if you're intending to get married, sit in the chair. There's a lot of difference in communication. People would advise you how you should communicate, and we are also advising them how they should communicate. So we realize it's a very big thing. Anyone intending to get married, and even those ones in a committed relationship, like you just got to get your fiance. I'm sure there are hiccups in communication, but how can we make communication better? So we'll be discussing, me and my husband here, the Chiefness, and the Muteris.
Okay,
Yes.
before we go into that, just to add on what you've said regarding communication, because, like for example, there's no standard way you can say that this is customized on only us. There are different ways different couples communicate. For example, we do it our own way, and then when we link up with you guys, we can also learn from you how you do communicate. So for me, I do think it's not standard. You can always learn as long as you go out and socialize.
So do you feel I'll be asking them Tevis, maybe we'll also talk about it. Do you feel every time you meet people out there, like for example you have let me say a gathering, married people gathering, where they are talking about problems, basically people are sharing their problems in marriage, and maybe they're always sharing the good part of their marriage issues. What do you think, in your opinion, what do you think is always something that would improve according to the way you communicate, you and your husband, what would you advise people out there, especially the ones who are having like communication issues in their marriages? What would they do better?
Listen. Yeah, like each person needs to give time to the other one. Listen to what the person is saying. After listening, understand what the person is saying in their perspective, not overshadow the person. Because both sides may be right. You may be right in the way you're thinking, and the other person may also be right in the way they are thinking. So it's better you listen to what he or she is saying, understand it from their perspective, then try to put yourself in that person's shoes. It may not be a win-win, but at least you would come to an understanding.
On each other's way of
yes. You may say, okay, fine, I understand it from your view, but what I meant was this. And he'll still say, I also understand it from your view, but let us do it halfway. Let us see the simpler way of doing something out, which will be convenient for both of us. Yes.
Well, for me, I think not to be so much different from what you have said. For me, I think first of all you need to put yourself as equals, as partners, like you're all equal.
You're not saying, oh, this one is the husband, so he's the one to.
Yeah, because what affects her might be affecting you at the same way. So if you put yourself as equals, then that means you'll have time to listen to each other. Like you give yourself equal opportunities when it comes to communication. Like you give her what she deserves, she'll give you what you deserve. For example, like if you have an argument and it's only a man that's going to dominate and say that I'm a man and it has to go my way, that means you'll never win that way. So you just have to listen to her, just as she has said, as she listens to you. So at the end of the day, there will be a settlement.
There will be a common ground.
Yeah.
So when it comes to us, the Chiefness, I'll ask my dear husband, what advice would you give regarding that kind of topic?
I think what the points that I've actually given are actually very excellent. It's the basis, it's more or less the foundation of what communication should be. Yeah, you cannot communicate with someone when you don't listen. Yeah, and listening from their perspective, as she put it, which I believe is something that is so paramount. However, as all this is being said, I believe the first foundation of communication is love. Yeah, it has to be love. Love is selfless. Yeah, you separate yourself from the problem, and you separate your marriage from the problem. Yeah, let me give an example. If it is finances, yeah, how do you want to communicate about that? You know for a fact that you both love each other. That is the bare minimum. Now you are reaching a point where you're now listening to each other about this financial issue. Yeah. Now, from your perspective, it is a priority. From his perspective, it is something that is urgent, but may not be the first priority.
Okay.
So it is important for you to actually listen from a place of love, not from a place of selfishness when you're in relationships. Yeah.
So love rules everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love is in the middle of everything that you can call a marriage. You have to see it that way. So there's something that she said. Maybe I could say something quite small.
Yeah.
Okay. I could say something more about communication. I believe the most important thing, also aside from love, is the ability to find solutions. It's not about discussing problems. You know, drama comes in houses and in families because they're discussing problems.
Without.
Sure.
They're not discussing solutions.
Yeah.
They're not trying to find a way forward.
Out. Yeah.
Yeah. So it stops the listening part of the conversation.
Yeah.
It just becomes, hear me. I'm telling you this.
Yeah.
This is the problem. Why aren't you hearing me? Rather than, hey, hon, this is the problem.
Yeah.
How it
I see it like this from my perspective. Yes? What do you think we should do? This is what I have in mind. You share, he also shares.
Yeah.
Then it won't, as you said, it may not be a balance. Like it may not be appear to be a win-win, but when you find a solution, it is a win-win for both of you. Yeah. So I believe solution-based conversations are the best way to have communication that is effective in a family. Positive criticism should aim at a solution. Yeah, that's what I can say, my darling wife.
So for me, what I could add on top of what everyone has said, what Mtemi said, and what my dear husband said.
Your better half.
My better half. Mine alone. So what I would add on is respect.
Yes.
For me, above all, you could give me a listening ear, but are you respecting my opinion? Because at the end of the day, marriage is for two people, not just one person. So if I could say something and you respect it, that means you're listening.
True.
Because when you're listening, you're respecting what I'm saying. And above all, the fact that you're respecting it, you love me enough
To listen.
to listen. It all goes hand in hand, I could say.
Yeah.
And then also finding a solution for the problem comes into respect, it comes into love. All these things move together, you see. They're like stitched together. So at the end of the day, I feel all these things come hand in hand, that if you have them, or if you build on them, if you've not even been having them, if you build on them, it can make marriage better. And also sometimes avoiding to compare. Because sometimes, you meet people, I'm like, oh, you see the way they tell you to do their things, the way they love each other, all the time they are touching each other, you know?
Yeah, why can't we be like that?
You know, if there is love, which is built on a pillar of respect, that means what other things will just come out spontaneously. You don't need to force anything.
Yeah, that's very accurate.
Yeah.
That's very accurate.
Yeah. Then the other thing I would like to add on is, where do you discuss your matters?
Yes.
Venue.
The
Location.
I'm not
That's what
coming
I
here.
see.
We've come to talk to you about, maybe we've come to see you,
Relax
and then
with us.
yes, and then afterwards I'm talking about laundry.
In your house.
Yes, in my house. Oh, so you're going to do laundry? No, I'm going to do laundry. You know, you love each other, but then where are you discussing the matters from? Wait until you're together. Nobody wants to hear your issues. They have worse issues than you have.
Sometimes you don't.
Exactly. People carry issues. So what you just need to do is know where to discuss them from, come to common ground, and solve it. Let nobody know how it even went down.
Yeah.
Because that's the respect you'll get from whoever is seeing you and whoever wants to be like you. That is what keeps you together.
And I don't know, I'm just excited to talk about what Judy has just shared. For me, I feel, if I could add on what you're saying, where you talk about those issues from. For me and my husband, we prefer prayer, you know, because God is a better listener than even some of us. Like sometimes when he was talking about solutions, sometimes you find yourself being in a place where you're looking at a solution yourself instead of looking at a solution as a couple.
Yeah.
You know? Yes. So I feel if you go before God, that's why they say God is the foundation of marriage.
Yeah.
If you have God in your marriage, you always know that you can go together on your knees and pray to God for something that you feel you can't solve together. You're like, you know what? Chino cha mukama. Instead of taking it to friends who are going to talk about it to other people, and then you're laughing stock out there, but you don't even know. And in that sense, you also lose respect in front of people.
Sure.
So I feel you're very right about it. Where you talk about your issues from is also very, very important.
Yeah, like the bedroom. Breaking the ice.
Did you mean that?
Like, you find the same problem, like your wife wanting, I'm speaking to Bob first. You find like your wife wanting to tell you, Bob, I need you to help me with the laundry, but you're not doing it.
Talking about is the inferring. For example, I'm cleaning the house.
Yeah.
I get the vacuum, I vacuum the house, I'm doing it alone, I'm doing it angry because what is he doing? He's seated in the couch on his phone. You know? I'm not saying anything. He's just seated. Maybe he's sending emails or he's busy doing something on his phone. But me, what is going through my mind is
he can't
he's
even
on WhatsApp.
see me.
He can't even see what I'm doing. That I'm working so hard. That I'm going to vacuum and then I have to mop the house. What does he think? And the whole time I'm vacuuming, and then he asks me, he's like, Han, can you stop the vacuum? Then I stop the vacuum. Then he asks me, can I help you? This is an example. You see, where he means inferring.
Yes.
So I'm like, the whole time you've been seeing me vacuum. Of course I need help.
Yeah.
Of course. But all this time, I'm
You're
just
not
assuming
communicating,
he knows I need help.
Yeah.
You get? I expect him to understand that I need help instead of telling him.
That's where I come from to say that sometimes you just need to know things automatically. You don't need to be told. Like you see your wife doing something, you just chip in and help.
It's actually a routine. If you know, like maybe like Wednesdays, you wake up and do something. I'll not wake up to tell you to do something. It's a routine, you know. After vacuuming, we are doing dishes. After doing dishes, so as soon as we wake up and he gets to the vacuum, then he's doing the vacuum. Let me do the cleaning.
Really, what about in a situation where you're this kind of a woman? Who, if your husband says, "Oh, baby, I'll do the dishes," you want him to do them there and then. Even if he tells you, "Oh, baby, I'll do them later," you tell him, "No, I want you to do them now."
He must know that it's supposed to be done and kept away.
Besides that, you know, there's some tasks.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we coming from communication. I think it's part of communication. But what is unfair? What is unfair? There are no tasks that are prescribed for women only, because even what they're supposed to do, we shall do. But for some things they leave it to us, and it's like us is supposed to do it. Even if it's not in place or it's broken, we just wait for you to come in and do it. So that's where the problem comes in.
True.
Yeah.
So you're like, "Oh, I can't cook for my wife. She's at work. Oh, it's her role. She's the woman. When she comes back from work, she'll have to cook for me. But you came back from home early.
Yeah.
How about you just fix a meal for the both of you? You know,
Yeah.
those are things like, for example, when you're saying you have to do it because you know, like when I get back from work and my husband came back earlier, he will fix us a meal.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell him, oh, Han, maybe he will call me to ask what can we cook,
Yeah.
you know? But he's not
What
going
would
to
you
tell
want
me,
to eat?
should I cook?
Yeah.
Should you cook? Aren't you going to eat? You know? So he doesn't ask me
That's
questions
true.
like that. It's inferring. It's sometimes, as women,
Yeah.
we infer a lot. We infer.
Yes.
He's supposed
You
to
be in
take
that
me for
kitchen.
hair day. She's
Yeah.
supposed to take me for this. He's supposed to
Yeah.
take me for this. But the
Yeah.
thing is this.
You've not spoken about.
Yes.
He's not even aware it's part of
Talk to me.
the day.
You have to ask me for help. I am your helper.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
It's something that is very subconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah? They do it even without knowing.
Yes. True.
You know? It's important for them to get out of that headspace.
Yeah.
Assuming.
You should know what to do.
You should know that I need this. Because there are times when my wife wants to clean this house in a particular way.
Yes.
Antibacterial everywhere. You understand?
Yeah.
And I have to respect that. I'm not going to come and do not know how to do it.
And you start doing
And I
it.
start doing it. She will
And
not be
spray where
pleased.
you're not supposed
Yes.
to spray. Spray the whole thing.
You understand? Eh? So that's where I'm coming from. Like, it's very important. It's very important for them to always let us know how they feel.
Yes.
They are getting accustomed to this culture where they assume that we should know our responsibilities.
Yeah.
It's important, I believe, to always
Communicate.
communicate. Tell someone, Han, tomorrow, like she normally does, tomorrow we are cleaning the house.
Yeah.
Okay? We are cleaning the house. I prepare my mind. If I had plans,
Fix
because
that in your
I
plan.
fix it in my plans. Not you coming overnight, telling me in the morning, we are cleaning the house today because you assume I am free,
You have nothing.
I have nothing to do,
Yeah.
and that becomes an issue.
Yeah. True.
So-
Very true. Gosh, it's a lot. We've talked about communication here. And I'm sure someone out there has learned something new. We have learned new things. I'm
Yes,
sure the
we
Mutemis
have.
have learned.
We have.
I've learned quite a lot from them.
Me too. I've learned a lot from them.
It's always important to know the environment.
Yeah.
That has hit me so different.
Yeah.
It's not like we don't do it, but like when you hear someone say something like this, you understand that you're doing the right thing. You're on the
Yes.
right path.
Yes.
It's not, as he said, Mr. Muteri said, there is no formula.
There's no formula.
There is no formula.
And different homes have different ways.
Different ways
It's just
of
like
doing things.
back home in Uganda. How we do things in Uganda is completely different
From
from how
the
we
UAE.
do things here.
And
Us as
still-
Africans in UAE, we can't do things the same way we would do them if we were living in Uganda as a married couple.
True.
It would be completely different. Like,
True.
how does my mother-in-law come and find my husband
In the
cooking?
kitchen.
Huh?
Washing dishes.
Huh? You see?
Cleaning the
Cleaning
house.
the house.
Well, you don't have to suffer with that when it comes to my mom. She'll be the one sending me to the kitchen. Hurry up! And she would say in our local dialect, "Oride wo."
Move fast.
Move fast. You know?
So for me, I've come to believe that when I was starting the conversation, it was very clear. We have different way of communicating in different marriages, different relationships out there.
Yeah.
So what I would say is you're not doing it wrong. But maybe through this video, you may have to learn a new way or something better to improve on the communication.
Yeah.
I don't know if there is anything we want to add on that.
Maybe some ending remarks.
Anything from the
From Mr.
Mutemis?
Muteri.
Yeah.
Mr. Muteri.
For me, the bottom line would be just as everybody has put it across, always just consider a space where you communicate your issues as a married couple. And that should be okay anywhere private.
Yeah.
We call it a bedroom, but sometimes
Maybe in the park where I need space to shout.
be private. Talk about your issue. Don't wash your linen in public because
Nobody
wants to.
cares.
don't care.
No one cares.
Yeah.
That's what you
People
should
have different
remember.
issues to deal with, so bring your own issues. No one will care even. So the space, the place where you discuss your issues matters a lot.
Anything you want to add, Madam Muteri? This is Muteri.
Inshallah, Muteri.
Yes, please. What I would add to that is you have rights over whatever makes you angry, but how do you put it out? You'll not come out in public because he did not buy you something and you're showing everybody how he did not buy it. Just get the time, because you're angry, tell him what pissed you off, or tell her what pissed you off, and freely talk about it. He might have reasons why, and you might not know the reasons why. Maybe he has been through it already and he has had the disadvantages of buying maybe a particular something or a brand, but he does not want to say it in front of the people selling the brand. So it's better to express yourself. Don't pile up stuff. Express yourself when something happens. Get to a ground about that and let it go.
True. Let it go and start over.
Yes.
My darling husband, do you have anything to add on the focus?
Mine is quite simple. Put your love first when you're communicating. Put respect. Put God above all. And trust me, there's no formula. Once you put these three things in one space, whenever you're talking to each other, whenever you want to relay information, these three things will change the way you communicate. You let the other person how you feel, what you exactly want to be done, and you can always find a middle ground.
Yeah.
But that guy,
Yeah.
that guy above all.
God is everything.
Yeah.
God above all.
Last thing, ladies, stop assuming. Stop assuming. We are a partnership. Partnerships have to communicate.
Yes.
Very true. Partnership. The last bit, I'll close with the word partnership, just like my husband, Mr. Chibna said. Partnership. Marriage is a partnership. It's your partnership, so you are equals.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Mtevi said also, you're equals.
Carrying some losses and profits.
That is it. If your marriage doesn't go well, it's both a loss and a profit for both of you. But communication will make your marriage better. If you want to share something with us, you could drop it in the comment to tell us something that we didn't even talk about in this video. But all we would say is thank you so much for watching. Stay blessed and stay safe.